All right, MrSotko here, and welcome back to another Company of Heroes 2 replay cast. Today it's a 4 vs 4 on Red Ball Express. I've never casted a game on this map, but I've sure played it many, many times. Up top, we have our allied team, our Russian player, Zimio, our U.S. Forces player, Yop, our teal Russian player, Prime, Ellen, and our green UKF player, Aladdin. Now, down at the bottom, we have our German team. We have Why No Work, our red Wehrmacht player, Loxley, our pink Wehrmacht player, Panzer Division Viper, and our red OKW player, John, 1986. Now, there's a few notable intel bulletins that I've seen upon the loading screen, one of which is Aladdin's. He has triple heavy machine gun bulletins for the accuracy, so 8% additional accuracy for his Vickers. We have two Maxim heavy machine gun increased suppression, which are pretty good, and a 10% increased veterancy. And we have the ever so envious triple rifleman veterancy, which I'm completely jealous of, because I only have one of them, and I can't seem to get one more of them to drop. And I really only seen one notable one for the Germans. We have a couple increased armor protection for the Panthers and one increased veterancy. But now, on to the replay here. Some battling going on over here on the top side. And looks like the Germans will be taking the bottom victory point without much competition. But it looks like the meat and potatoes is up here for now. We have a Vickers being set up, and it's that highly accurate Vickers, so it should do quite a bit of damage. And now going after that Kubelwagen. But the Stern Pioneers get forced away by another machine gun, the Maxim, and an MG42 in the back. So lots of machine guns on this map. If you've never played this map before, it is very machine gun oriented, particularly in the beginning of the game. If you just get a few machine guns, you do very well on this map, because you can see the very tight tolerances of the areas. You only have a couple places to go, so it's very easily covered by machine guns. Now two Stern Pioneers coming around the side here, gonna waste that engineer squad. So it looks like Why No Work sporting dual Stern Pioneers there at the start. And the machine guns really piling up over here pretty good. The center here being taken by the U.S. forces, and there is no competition there from the Germans. Germans have successfully taken over the bottom here of the Kubelwagen. The MG42 forced in there. And so much action, so hard to follow it all. Now the riflemen here going at it with Pioneers. Going to try and hold this section here. You can get a good cover there behind the truck. And mines work excellent all through this map, really. But I really like mines here and here, especially the minefields from the Germans. And now up top here, two Maxims have successfully taken the top side there. So it looks like the Allies will have the top in the center, and the Germans so far have the bottom side of the map. Maxim in a big ball of trouble here. The Stern Pioneers waste that Maxim, and now they're going to pick it up and run on home with it. Covet thy Maxim heavy machine gun, because why not? And probably will just have to retreat out of there and reinforce it and use it later. And once again, the Maxims from our teal Russian player, wheeling them around, has 10% increased suppression, which means your opponent will drop pretty quickly. Even just one of those intel bulletins is actually fairly noticeable. And a rifleman squad wasted there by the Grenadiers. Pioneers attempted to take that center, but were completely surrounded, and that just simply wasn't happen. The Germans down the bottom have a pretty strong hold there of the bottom side for now. A couple machine guns look like they're going to be moving down to the bottom. Top side also has a nice hold as well. Some trenches going up for the British, and slapping some Vickers inside there. So right now the Germans in a little bit of trouble here, losing slowly but surely. And now, or I suppose not surely, we don't know. Now the Grenadiers taking cover there. No windows on this side of the house here, so they cannot fire on these Grenadiers, or at least not very well. They may be able to fire at an angle there, but you can always just kill troops through the wall there. One rifleman left in that squad needs to get out of there. A TM mine here coming down on the ground for the Russians in a very nice place. As soon as something comes around there, gonna feel the wrath of that. It looks like they only put two down. That's very interesting. And Sniper here gathering kills, has a total of 5 kills, and there is a lot of things to kill in the background, so he's just having a field day right now. All kinds of targets, and the Grenadiers getting pinned and suppressed by that Maxim with the 10% increased suppression, so it pretty much suppresses troops pretty much instantly, as the Maxim already deals decent suppression. Not quite the highest, but 10% additional suppression is pretty good. Down the bottom here, using a Maxim against his opponents here. Now 2 Maxims set up, but there's a lot of forces here. It's going to be hard to actually suppress all of them. And one of the Maxims is lost. You're starting to suppress all these troops here. But can he pin them? That is the question. The Kubelwagen firing away, but the Kubelwagen's getting shot by the Maxim. And the other Maxim here needs to start firing away as well. And it doesn't look good for that Maxim here. He's going to have to bail very soon, and should already be doing so. It looks like he may lose that Maxim, and I don't think he's going to make it out of there. It's going to be really close. No, not going to make it out of there. So loses 2 Maxims there. 2 Maxims that can be picked up by the OKW if they choose to do so, which I certainly would. Why not? Free Maxims. So now the OKW and the Germans in general, they're in a little bit of trouble. Still, the bottom victory point belonging to the Germans, but the center and the top is pretty much uncontested right now. As you can see on the map there, there's nobody even going for that top. Looks like they're all on the bottom. We're all back in base, either healing, repairing, reinforcing, all that good stuff. A 222 now in the field here. We'll see if this can turn the tide of the battle or not. And there is some vulnerable mortars up here, and a Maxim for that matter as well. So 2 mortars up here, a Maxim that could be taken up there by that 222, and there's not much that could really... There is a ZIS over here that could respond to that sort of thing, and the 2 Maxims moving over to the right. We'll see what they decide to do. Now the 222 is moving up and going to spot the MG there. MG is going to fire back. It's in the arc of fire of that MG, and the 222 will actually take decent damage from a machine gun over time. Looks like a mortar landed directly on that 222, did a good chunk of damage there. Now 2 Maxims, so he's going to have to bail out of there. And if he would have just moved outside of that arc of fire a little bit, he would have been able to do a little bit more damage and not take so much from that initial machine gun. The captain and a couple of riflemen here dealing with 2 Volksgrenadier squads and a Pioneer squad that just chilling in the back. Only 1 guy's firing out of there. Everybody else is just taking a break. Looks like a Stuart is on the way here for Yope, and we'll be out shortly. And not much armor out for the Germans, just that 222 and a Kubelwagen somewhere on the map. 222 is going to be repaired soon. There is the Kubelwagen, and the Maxim here in trouble, but it's going to back that out of there. There was a lot in the area there that could turn around and start attacking that Kubelwagen. Now the riflemen have to run away, and now the captain's going to run too. He's going to give up that area for a little while. And now this is a little bit vulnerable here, but there's a lot of mines. We have a couple of modified M6 mines, and we have a couple TM35 mines there as well. And I'm not sure if I've seen any mine detectors over here from them. No, there is none. So if they run into that area, they're going to be hurting pretty bad. And the 2 Maxims here trying to suppress in all the areas. There's a Grenadier squad over here. And it'll launch a rifle grenade. It's going to hit that ZIS and takes out a couple men. Not too big of a deal, but now 2 Volksgrenadier squads coming around the far right too. And 2 Royal Engineers with flamethrowers coming around the side. And no mines have been set off there. All the good action over here for now. And Volksgrenadiers have forced all this equipment out of here. And the Maxim has to pick up and leave now. There's a couple of mortars firing, but loses another Maxim. So many Maxims lost this game. I think that's at least a 4th one that has been lost. And Flamethrowers trying to get this last Maxim here, and if they can fire one more time, they cannot. They get pinned just before they can torch it one more time. And there are mines everywhere here. We have a shoe mine in the back now from the Germans. And Grenadiers moving up the left side here. No mine in the left side. That's why we say, oh, nope, there is a mine on the left side. I didn't actually see that. It was placed ever so cleverly in that mortar crater. But again, mines over here, you can see just how good they are, because people are going to go up there and they think that they're safe going up there because they're not going up the center, because going up the center is a little bit silly, as you're definitely going to run into something. So you go around that other side and you end up standing on a mine. Now the Stuart here coming around the side and not firing on anything. Oh, it looks like it's going after the 222 here. But can it get it? There is a Pack 40 right there as well, and he's going to have to bail. He's got one tiny sliver of health. The 222 could finish that off, and doesn't. Very, very lucky Stuart there. And now we have some Pioneers here getting rid of some of these mines. There's just mines all over the place here, scattered about. And going to get rid of that modified M6 mine from the British, and that Pack 40 there looks like it does finish off that Stuart. So not a very lucky Stuart since it was finished off. But the 222 could get finished off here, but I doubt it. And is it going to get away so low? A tiny sliver of health. One of the lowest 222s I've seen in a while. And now a huge ye olde ball of U.S. riflemen here forces away the 2 Volksgrenadiers and that flamethrower placed inside that building there. Peppers them in the face with a little bit of fire. And MG42 has been taken there by the Russians. And there is a demo charge there on the ground. And this heavy machine gun is running right towards it. And, uh-oh. Is it going to get it? Are they going to see that? Whose is that? It looks like it is Zimio's right here, and he's making a mine right next to this squad, and he could probably do some good damage. There he goes. He sets it off, and he takes out 3 of the men, so pretty good. Good enough. And should be able to decrew this squad. It's going to have to run in front of 2 machine guns here, and that's not going to feel good. There he goes. Loses that, so that Maxim now available to be picked up by the Allies once again. And a Raketenwerfer has been stolen by the U.S. forces there. And going to run off with that and use it for later. Not sure where they're getting all their rockets from, but who knows? Perhaps they stole those 2. Modified M6 mine going down here for the British forces. In a fairly good area. I think that's a little too far back, but you can never be too safe with your mine placements, I suppose. And another Maxim down here, and even more TM-35 mines coming down here. Only 1 engineer placing them, so it's going very, very slowly. But there's a Kuba wagon right there. And we have a Cromwell, however, to deal with that Kuba wagon. So that is not going to be a problem, but it looks like that Cromwell is not really sighting in on that Kuba wagon, but the guard squads are, and should just be able to pepper it up a couple times here, and takes out that Kuba wagon, no problem. The sniper is still alive here, 21 kills on that sniper, so well played and well microed there for keeping that alive. A 75 Pack howitzer there on the ground, and firing away. Although I suppose it wouldn't be anywhere else. If 75 Pack howitzer floating magically in the air, of course it's on the ground, but either way. And the 75mm chases away the Germans for now. And I really, really love that 75. I think it's a little too expensive, though. I mean, it is good, but I think it's a little too expensive. It's hard to get them sometimes because you're just so low on manpower a lot of times. And we have another mine right there. There's a mine and a demo. There's a demo charge right on top of a mine. That's interesting. I think the mine might actually destroy the demo charge and vice versa, so I'm not sure how that's supposed to work very well. Katusha firing here and firing all over the area here and trying to get the mortars. And more waves incoming here, and it looks like these mortars will pick up and be able to get out of there. Oh, nope, takes out a couple more men there. And something's gonna walk on this mine. Oh, man, that was a big explosion. Wow, that was incredible. So that took out a lot of Volksgrenadiers there, and a couple of those Pioneers. Impressive explosion. The 222 going after the Katusha. Who will save the Katusha? The ZIS is the hero of the Rodina. And they may not be executed now. We have a Stuka about to fire here and firing away. And it looks like it'll be firing here. And indeed, it is going to be fired all over those mortars there. Take out one of them. I think that was just an 82mm mortar, so not too big of a loss. But the 120 stays and is good to go. And will still continue firing. And that 120 firing all the way over there. The 120's range is quite impressive. I always make it an effort to get a 120 if I pick one of those particular commanders, because the 120 is so worth it. It's so good. Now the 82 is just as effective if it hits units directly, of course, but that 120 really, really mangles an area quite well. Very satisfying. And now this Maxim here is way out of position and will may get decrewed here. The Grenadiers and the Storm Pioneers coming at it, and they do. And get stunned there. It looks like, oh, the sniper there stunned it. I couldn't see what that was for a moment there. It was the sniper's incendiary round actually stunned his own troops for a moment there. But he finished off that Maxim using that. And for anybody that doesn't know, you can actually kind of double shot with the German sniper. If you have a level 1 veteran, so you can use that fire incendiary round. You basically just auto attack once, and then as soon as you are done auto attacking, just use your incendiary round on something, and it will fire on the next target. So you can pretty much kill 2 things at once, or within a very short time period of each other. And a very, very useful tactic. And Katyusha here firing away. Where is that Katyusha coming from? There they are, all firing in this area here, and so much chaos. And another squad destroyed there. So it was a, looks like a Pack 40 maybe, and maybe 2 mortars. And a Grenadier squad. Not sure what all was killed there. But it was a lot by the looks of it. 2 kills, 6 kills. So it might have not have been all of that. Either that or they didn't have full squads there supporting those utility items there. But that was a very effective Katyusha launch there. And Cromwell takes a shot from the Raketenwerfer and may take another shot from that Raketenwerfer. Nope, looks like it's just out of range now. And will survive the day. Takes 4 shots to destroy a Cromwell with a Raketenwerfer. So if you have 2 Raketenwerfers, just a couple volleys will get the job done. We have a land mattress now out on the field. And looks like it's going to be firing here. And where is it firing? Looks like it may be firing on the Schwerer Panzer headquarters. Not really sure. And there it goes, landing all over the area here, but not going to get too much. Maybe these Fusiliers here running, they may just take an unlucky shot, but no, not going to get much there. Did recrew that, decrew that mortar there. So not too bad. As long as you get something, I suppose. Raketenwerfer still holding that victory point on the bottom, so the Germans have held that victory point, I think, the entire time. I don't believe that's ever changed. However, the Allies have held the center and the top the entire time. So 483 to 288. And another M6 mine coming down here. Just so many mines coming down. And all these riflemen here are sporting M1919s. And I don't know if there's just one in the squad or not. Can't really quite see their weapons because it's somehow buried in the ground. But it looks like just each squad just has one, indeed. There's not sporting dualies there. And the victory point has been taken away from the Germans temporarily. And the guard rifles are in the house now, firing directly in the face of these Volksgrenadiers here. They're in a little bit of trouble. Need to chuck an incendiary grenade. And it looks like they already did, but it landed here. And so they can't use it again now. Now the Storm Pioneer is going to get around the side. If you get around the side of this building, it's hard to get shot. I think you can still get shot from right here. I think that for some reason they can turn around and still hit you if they want. And there is a DP light machine gun there on the ground for those Storm Pioneers. Free DP light machine gun, why not? But yeah, you can basically stand right here and do a lot of damage to the troops inside this building since there's no windows. But for some reason, you can still get shot by 1 or 2 of those troops here on the edge as if they're shooting at an angle, even though it's clearly impossible. The Jagdpanzer now in the field there for the Germans. And a Panzerwerfer. Looks like it's ready to fire soon here. Finding a target now. And there goes a Panzerwerfer barrage and lands on the ground here. Doesn't get too much by the looks of it. And where is that other Panzerwerfer? Is it going to fire? No, it's not firing right now. And DP light machine gun still on the ground there. It's so lonely. Somebody wants to pick that up. And I would like to see that in a Storm Pioneer squad. That would be actually kind of funny. As soon as they stop and start using that. Now we have a Flempanzer Hetzer on the map. Something you don't see every day. As that commander just isn't used all the time. And Panzerwerfer rather up here. And is it going to fire? I'm waiting for it to fire. I want it to fire so bad. And there are just so many rockets incoming here. The Schwerer Panzer headquarters not going to last much longer. One more volley. That will go down. Looks like the Storm Pioneers may try and repair that. But it's going to take quite a while as it repairs fairly slow. Stuka ready to fire here. And launching. Where is it firing? Looks like it's firing on all this. That's going to be devastating. Oh, no. And takes out the major, but not the troops. So not too bad there. They did move in time. If they had not moved, that would have been an outright devastating shot. And another Katyusha barrage here, trying to get this Schwerer Panther headquarters. Oh, a direct missile on those Storm Pioneers. Hit right there, took them all out. And now, not looking too good for that Schwerer Panther headquarters. And Flame Panzer moving up. And the Riflemen here in a little bit of trouble. There's a lot of fire in the area. Grenadiers with a flamethrower. An interesting combination. Engineers with a flamethrower inside the building here. Gets a shot on the angle of that machine gun. Will decrew that, more than likely. And the Sherman is now here to deal with this Flame Panzer. And forces away all of those Riflemen. They have to run all the way back to base now. That Major is dead. So they will be out for a little while. However, the Sherman can easily deal with that Flame Panzer. And now the Engineers inside the circle there did take that victory point. But however, the Allies lost the center victory point. It is neutral. And are they going to go back inside the building, or are they just going to go over here and reinforce? Yep, indeed, that's what they're going to do. And looks like another Stuka barrage incoming here and hitting near the forward assembly there. Tried to get the land mattress, couldn't quite get it. 2 Shermans now in the field for the U.S. forces. Another Major is on the way for a retreat point, and that is a lot of fuel. Or rather, not a lot of fuel, as it doesn't cost any fuel when you try to get another officer after it's been killed. As you can see, the captain, he lost a captain 320, and the Major is only 160 to buy it a second time, so my fault real quick for that. I forgot about that just for a moment. Things like that happen. Now these Sherman moving forward here, but there's 2 PaK-40s, and they really need to get out. He's going to almost certainly lose 1 here. Maybe not. Is he going to be able to get out in time? He does. He lucks out, and that misses and hits the terrain. So the center victory point now taken by the Germans, so it's pretty much just been flipped around a little bit. Modified M6 mine right there, and they just barely miss it. Doesn't get him. Land mattress though firing away here, and it's going to be firing at the PaK-40 and decrews the PaK-40, no problem. Now 483 to 161, still have not lost any points since the beginning of the game. Stuka ready to barrage again, and now firing over this way. And is it getting the Rakettenwerfer? It looks like it is, and does not quite take it out, nor does it take out the ZIS. Doesn't even take out any men from the ZIS, just injures them a little bit. And now at Su-85 out on the field for the Russians there to deal with that Jagdpanzer. And Grenadier is going to recrew that PaK-40, but just as they recruit, there are missiles incoming from the Katyusha. And can they make it out in time without getting struck there? It looks like that's the Katyusha, or is that another land mattress? Looks like it's a Katyusha there. And another land mattress here firing away. And decrews it again. Just really can't catch a break there. It gets decrewed over and over. Now here comes the Panzerwerfer firing away. Looks like it's firing at the land mattress here. And is it going to decrew that or not? It's going to be close here. It looks like all the missiles completely miss. Very unfortunate barrage there. We have a guard rifle squad here that has picked up an MG42. Very interesting. Sniper still alive and going strong here. 3-star veteran sniper. Just doing work here on all these troops. And is now up to 44 total kills. Shermans have been brought forward there. Kills the Hetzer. And looks like a Stuka barrage incoming here, trying to get at some of those riflemen, but they already retreat. And they may have actually set off a mine there too. I'm not sure. There was a mine right in the area there. Katyusha coming down all over the searchlight. It's going to back up the searchlight for now. And just set it back just a little bit there, and then turn it back on. And now down at the bottom here, Panther is ready to go, but Panther now buttoned and going to take an extra shot or two there from the Su-85. And Su-85, no, he misses. So far the Panther really hasn't taken too much damage. The damage on the Panther, I think, is entirely from the guard rifles. Panther is marked using the marked vehicle ability, so it was taking a bit of extra damage from those guard rifles. Panther has been marked again. Using that marked vehicle, so now it's subject to additional damage. And the center here, Land Mattress going, trying to get that Pack 40. And is it going to get it? Decrews it again. Those Pack 40s just cannot catch a break. Have been decrewed half a dozen times in the last 15 minutes here. Panzerwerfer firing away. And is it going to get anything good? No, not really. Panzerwerfer just not very lucky this time around. And only 12 kills on it, so that's fairly decent. But the last couple of barrages have been very unlucky. The Panzerwerfer up here is ready to fire. And we'll see what it decides to fire on. Jagdpanzer's engine damaged. Panzerwerfer ready to fire here. It's going. And is he just going to do a short range? He is, and it's just going to mangle these troops here because it's so short range. And does some pretty good damage there. Takes out some of those guards and the whole MG. So not too bad there. Got an additional maybe 8 kills or so. Don't remember the exact value it had earlier. But the Germans trying to barrage, but it looks like the Allied barrages are just a little bit better this game. And Su-85 going to pull up here, going to contest this Panther again, and not enough. He does have more than enough fuel. I was about to say he doesn't have enough fuel, but he has more than enough fuel. 620 munitions, I mean, and he actually does have a lot of fuel at that. But in terms of munitions, costs 80 munitions to mark a vehicle, so you could just pretty much spam mark vehicle here and do a lot of damage to that Panther. He marks it again. There it is. And he's going to button it. He buttoned that vehicle. So now the guard rifles will do a little bit of extra damage to it as well. But the game is over, 483-0. So the Allies didn't lose much the entire game. They eventually took all 3 victory points at the end. And we had a lot of bombers here. The Stuka had 54 kills, though. So that is actually an amazing Stuka there. And I kind of actually want to check some of the other bombers of the Allies here. We had a Calliope, only had 2 kills. And I'm not sure where those Katyushas are. Here we go, 7 and 9 and 12. So that Stuka was actually pretty much the MVP bomber, to be totally honest. But the Panzerwerfers really didn't amount to all that much. They got quite a bit of kills, but didn't get any real critical kills where it was really a worthwhile kill. We have a KV-2 on the map. I didn't see that, and I'm very upset that I didn't actually get to see that in action, because the KV-2 is a rare sight indeed. It's unfortunately not that great, but it against troops, it's an absolute nightmare. But if a tank goes up to it, it's pretty much screwed. But I hope you guys enjoyed this replay, and I'm going to get back to eating shelled peanuts.